Hi parents, thank you for checking out this video. So I'm Nelly from PSLE Math, and today I'll be going through with you some angle questions to show you that actually angle questions is not that hard, and it can be questions that your child can easily score, and it is just by being able to recognize certain angle properties and just trying out different ways to see things to be able to solve the questions. Yep, so right now I'm going to go through the first question. This is the Methodist Girls School Prelim Paper 2, question 10, okay, from last year's. Okay, so the first question here we have PSV is an isosceles triangle. So for angles questions, I always tell my students to label anything on the diagram. So here they told us that this is an isosceles triangle where PS is the same as VS. So we can do this simple labeling, all right, so that it will be helpful for us to solve later. Okay, then it says RSTW is a rhombus. Okay, so RSTW being a rhombus, that means all the sides are the same. So here I will put a double stroke, okay, so that I know they are all the same, and double because I want to differentiate from the single stroke on the isosceles triangle. Okay, then of course another thing to know is that isosceles triangle, they have opposite parallel sides. Okay, yep, and then okay, so better to put a double lah also. Okay, so PT and RV are straight lines. Okay, so this means that we have got opposite angles here, okay, and the other side is also the same. Okay, but let's label that later. Okay, so we have straight lines, meaning that we have vertically opposite angles. Okay, that is another property. Okay, then next angle WPQ is 35, so over here labeled already, and PSV, okay, being 32. Okay, then first question asks for TUS. So TUS, it is over here labeled already. Okay, so actually over here we can see there is a triangle PUS. Okay, this triangle PUS give us two angles. Okay, there are two angles given in this triangle. So we are just left with this angle alone, right? So which means we can find the angle PUS easily, right? Using 180 minus 35 minus 32. Here we will be able to get 113 degree. Okay, so remember just now the question told us that PT is a straight line. So in other words, we can take the straight line minus 113 to find what is SUT. Okay, so or TUS. So it will be 180 minus 113, okay, which will give us 67. Okay, so there is another way to do this as well. If you also know about the opposite angle, or I mean the exterior angle, okay, being the same as the two opposite interior angles. So over here, we have a triangle, right? So these two opposite angles, it will add up to be this angle here. Okay, so we can simply take 35 plus 32, which is 67. Okay, this property being called the exterior angle equals to the two opposite interior angle, okay, inside the triangle. Okay, or you can call this as the angle on the extended line, okay, of a triangle, okay, being equal to the two angles opposite, which is inside the triangle lah. All right, so this is for part A. Okay, so you see it can be a one step or two step, and then your child will be able to get the 2 marks, right? Okay, then the next question, okay, let me fill up this first, is 67. Okay, next question. Find angle PVR. We can find out first what is this angle. Okay, this angle you can see here. Okay, your child will be able to know this as the C. Okay, C meaning the angles between the two parallel lines. Okay, so here being 78, that means over here with the C, that means 180 minus 78. Okay, it will give us the angle RWU or RWT. Okay, let me write down. Angle RWT, it is 180 minus 78, okay, which is 102. Okay, so now we have found this angle, it is 102. Okay, so according to the vertically opposite angle property, right, this will also be 102. Okay, and remember we had an isosceles triangle, right? So which means to say we can find out what is this angle. Okay, we take 180 minus the 32. Okay, then we divide by 2 to find the green angle I labeled here. Okay, so angle VPS, it is 180 minus 32, the whole thing divided by 2, which is 74. Okay, so over here we have found it is 74. That means we can find this angle already, right? Okay, so this angle VPW, okay, angle VPW, it will be 74 minus the 35. Okay, and this is gonna give us 39. Okay, so now we know the angles within the small triangle over here. Okay, let me try to draw nicer. Okay, anyway, let me just circle PVW. Okay, over here, this triangle, we know the angle here, which is 39. Okay, and the angle here 102. So we can find what the question wants, PVR. Okay, so angle PVR is going to be the 180 minus the 74. Oh, sorry, not 74, minus 39. Okay, and minus 102. And this will be 39. Okay, so this is a question that will give your child 4 marks once he or she is able to do it. Okay, so for the next question, we have got Henry Park's prelim paper last year. Right, so in this figure below, UVWX is a parallelogram, and XYZ is an isosceles triangle where XY equals to XZ. Okay, so over here we can label again, XY equals to XZ. So the single stroke. UXY and WXZ are straight lines. The sum of YZX, okay, YZX is here, and XWV is 147. Alright, so over here and over here, okay, these pair of blue angles add up to 147. Okay, then the question asks for UVW. Okay, so for this question, we know that isosceles triangle, right? They have the same base angles. So meaning to say, the blue angle over here, okay, XZY, angle XZY is going to be the same as the angle XYZ over here. Okay, so this orange angle is the same as XZY. So another angle that is the same as the angle of the parallelogram I marked in blue here, angle VWX. This angle is equal to the opposite angle. So in other words, this pair of orange triangle is going to add up to 147 as well, right? Since the angle on VWX, okay, the angle on W here, is the same as the angle on U here. And the angle on Y here is the same as the angle on Z here, right? So that means to say we have another pair of 147. Okay, so this leaves us with just just two angles left, okay, which is these two angles, and they are vertically opposite. That means they are the same. Okay, so now what we can do is we can find out the total angles for the parallelogram and the triangle, right? What is the total angles? So we know that for parallelogram, the total angles is 360. Okay, and for the triangle, the total angle is 180. So the total angles, that means when we add up all the angles, we are gonna get 540 degrees, right? And down here we have got two sets of 147. This will give us 294. Okay, so meaning these angles, okay, this pair 147, another pair of 147, okay, and then once we take the total minus the two sets of 147, that means 294, what we have left are simply the three angles, okay, those two here, they are vertical opposite, and one more here. Well, this one angle, can you see it is opposite to this angle at X. So in other words, the three remaining angles, they are identical. Okay, so let's find the remaining angles first. So total 540. Okay, we minus 294. So remaining it's 246. So we know these are three identical angles, right? So we take 246 divided by 3. And we will be able to get the angle at V here, okay, the angle UVW. Right, so it is pretty easy. Okay, so even though this question didn't give us any angles, like any particular number, but we are able to solve it because we know the sum of the angles of parallelogram, we know the properties of the angles inside the parallelogram, and we also know about the isosceles triangle. Alright, let's go on to the last question. Okay, last question here. This is ACS Junior Prelim paper. Okay, so in this figure, again, we don't have any angles, but not to worry, okay, because we can find out things. So here, ABCD is a square. Alright, so when you see a square and you see a diagonal across the corners of the square, immediately we will know that over here we have got a 45, okay? Because only for a square, when it is diagonally across, cut this way, this will cut the 90 into half, okay? So we have got a 45 here. Okay, then we can continue to read. They also said that DGA, it is a isosceles triangle, and ACE is also an isosceles triangle. Okay, and then they said to us to find EFG. So EFG is over here. Okay, so for this question, EFG is here. So it will be useful to find the vertically opposite angles first. Okay, And over here, you can see this is a equilateral triangle angle, right? Which means it is 60 degrees. Okay, so with this, we can find out this tiny angle here, right? So the tiny angle, it is 60 minus 45, giving us 15 degrees. Okay, so the angle here is 15 degrees. Okay, and also we know the angle on this side of the triangle, this is 60. Okay, reason? Yeah, let me write properly. 60 degrees over here. Okay, so reason because we have an equilateral triangle over here, GDA. So now within the small triangle here, we see FDA. Right? And we have a 15, we have a 60, so we can find the remaining one. Okay, taking 180 minus 60 minus 15, giving us 105. So now we have found the angle here to be 105, which means to say the one opposite will also be 105. So a 3 marks question, we can do it fast. Okay. So parents, I hope this video really helped you guys to understand the questions. It's really not that hard, and also of course helpful for your child to understand as well. Yep, and give him or her the confidence to solve angle questions. So in the next video, again, I'll be showing you to solve other kinds of questions, so stay tuned. And if you have any questions or suggestions for upcoming videos, feel free to leave a comment below and do subscribe to this channel. Thank you.